Many of you have found this YouTube channel because there's something lacking in your musical life. For those of you in school, there is a lack of support for cello lessons, maybe from your music departments or your families. Others have simply decided to start playing this wonderful instrument later on in life, in their 20s or 30s or 40s or 50s or 60s. And then there are those of you who once excelled at a high level with cello, yet life got difficult and you had to make a choice. And so you decided to give up on your art. But now, as you were once lost and now have found cello again, you are here to help rekindle your passion for cello and invigorate your musical spirit. Regardless of your personal history, you have found our community because you want to learn more about cello and what it means to be a cellist. That's why I share these talks with you, because at times we need to simply pause the music and sit down and have a talk about what it means to be a musician. For every long journey we make in life, we experience a unique mixture of pain and pleasure that is particular to our personal histories. And the same applies to your journey with cello. To progress, we need challenges as cello players. We need competition. Roger Federer, I'm saying that probably incorrectly, is a great tennis player and just won the Australian Open, his 20th Grand Slam title. Do you think he achieved such an incredible goal by playing opponents that are at or below his level? This logic that applies to Roger Federer, an athlete, also applies to Yo-Yo Ma, a cellist. They're both world-renowned, but the logic is still the same and it applies to you and I. Meaning, for every challenge that you face and you conquer, you grow as a cellist. And as some of you evolved from making sounds on the instrument to reproducing notes written on a score, to playing music, to finally expressing your unique identity with the cello. All along this journey, you need obstacles. You need to contend and to see what you're really made of. As you become acquainted or reacquainted with cello, I urge you to play songs, repertoire, scales, and etudes that challenge you. Yet, please do not forget the songs, etudes, and repertoire that give you joy. This mixture of both pain and pleasure is as old as humanity itself. It is what makes evolution possible. And for this reason is why we play the recipe of scales, etudes, and repertoire. It is traditional and it is simple, yes. And the reason is because it works. There will be days of frustration, whether it's a cramping bow hand or your left hand just simply cannot get in tune. There will be some days where your scales sound pure and your etudes pretty effortless, but the repertoire just doesn't sound good at all. There will be other days where the repertoire is fun and gives you joy, and the scales are okay, but the etudes seem unplayable, close to impossible. An etude that you played prior in the week or not too long ago, that was easy. And yes, there are even days where nothing works, where no matter what you do, it's just never enough. It's not good enough. I too experience those days, and even my Excalibur here or Col de Roi simply cannot slay the demons of doubt. Fret not. I have some advice with you I would like to share. First, we need to talk about concentration and being distracted when we play. Watch this video I have here in its entirety to learn good techniques on how to stay concentrated and focused during your cello practice. Second, like I stated in this video, be aware of your mental and emotional state prior to touching cello. Play joyful music when happy and songs of melancholy when you feel emotional. Recently, I uploaded Nothing Else Matters, and in preparation for your video lessons, I researched what the state of mind and the emotional state the composers were experiencing when they wrote the song. And so, I found out that during the time of writing Nothing Else Matters, the writers, James Hetfield and Lars Ulrich, were on tour, a world tour for Metallica, and they were achieving heights of success they had never dreamed of. And at a very precipitous increase in their success as a band, as musicians, they were feeling a tremendous level of sadness. But not sadness in the sense of depression, but a longing to belong. As they had their adoring fans in front of them, they felt alienated from their true friends and family back in California. And that's why it means so much to them when they say, so close, no matter how far. And so when I decided to record this, I needed to be in the right emotional state. Recently, I experienced some troubling news in my own personal family. And on the day which I recorded Nothing Else Matters, I was feeling, well, quite sad, but at the same time, longing to be close to these people I love so much. And it was in that moment I picked up my cello, turned on my camera, and in one take, recorded all 4 parts. It was just the right day to do it. Third, be flexible with the scales, etudes, and repertoire recipe. I mean this by, you're not obligated to follow the formula exactly like that every time you play cello. Because, like I stated prior, some days the etude will be fun, while other days you will loathe the etude. So mix it up and remain flexible with your practice. And lastly, appreciate the little things when it comes to cello. When I say this, is you have a beautiful instrument, and some days it may happen that you play a certain note perfectly. And that gives you a tremendous sense of joy, especially if you have a wolf tone on your F sharp on the C, and it just sounds good one day. On other days, your bow will simply glide across the strings effortlessly, without any hand cramping here as you hold it. And then some days, it's just beautiful to look at. It is those moments that you share with your instrument that are just as important as the times when you conquer that etude, or you really do well on that song, or you play that scale in really good intonation. It is in these private, personal moments of appreciation that we become more connected to our evolution as musicians, and more committed to our practice as we continue the journey with cello. Thanks for watching today. Please like and subscribe and share your own personal story, privately or publicly, here on the channel. We always like to share with each other, and I love to hear from you guys. Please stay tuned for an important studio update coming right after this. Bye-bye now.